Caitriona Balfe and Sam Heughan made the world explode with real love off-screen. At exactly 8 a.m. London time, Caitriona Balfe's Instagram account posted a photo that shook social media. No lengthy caption. Just a photo, she and Sam Heughan standing in front of Loch Lomond, hands clasped, sunlight reflecting off the water, and the small text at the bottom. 2 hearts, after 10 years. In just 20 minutes, the post attracted nearly 2 million likes and tens of thousands of comments. From Variety, The Guardian, People, to Vanity Fair, all headlined, "It's official. Caitriona Balfe and Sam Heughan confirm their relationship after a decade." Global fandoms erupted. Fans of Outlander, the show that brought him together, cried, laughed, and argued everywhere. "They're finally together. Oh my gosh, I've been waiting for this for 10 years. But behind that simple photo is a long journey, filled with sweat, tears, and stories that have never been told. 10 years ago, Scotland, 2014, when Outlander began filming its first season, Sam and Caitriona were just 2 promising names. He, the Scottish man with the wild eyes, she, the elegant, intelligent, and reserved Irish actress. From the first days on set, everyone sensed a strange energy between them, more than just acting chemistry. They argued about scenes, laughed during breaks, endured Scottish rain and bitter cold shoots together. Everyone said, they have more realness than Jamie and Claire. But all these years later, they kept quiet. No scandal, no private photo, no confirmation, the media asked. Fans guessed, and they just smiled. Time passed, they each went their separate ways, new films, separate projects, separate lives. Caitriona got married, Sam went into the whiskey business. They were still friends, still appeared together at Outlander events, still laughed, still held hands on the red carpet, but between them was a wall of principles, private life, and inappropriate timing. Until one autumn day, when fate once again brought them together, and everything changed forever. Loch Lomond autumn. In the 10th year of Outlander, the crew organized a special filming session, the final scene of the final season. The chosen setting was Loch Lomond, where it all began. It was cold and foggy. Caitriona put on an old sweater, stepped out of the trailer, and caught Sam standing silently looking at the lake. "It's beautiful," she said softly. "Just like the first time we came here," he replied. "Only it was raining harder then," she laughed, and he was shaking from having to film a half-naked scene in the rain. They both laughed, but then fell silent, because something unnameable had suddenly appeared between them, a closeness that didn't need words. Sam looked at her. 10 years on, she was still the same, deep eyes, soft voice, and the way she looked at him as if she understood everything without asking. "Cat," he hesitated, "have you ever thought, if we weren't Jamie and Claire, would things have been different?" She was silent for a moment. Then she said, "Maybe. Or maybe not. But what I know for sure is, for the past 10 years, you've always been here. And I'm always grateful for that." He smiled. "There are things that don't need to be acted out, right?" "Yeah, some things can only be lived." That evening, the crew held a farewell party. Music played, whiskey flowed like a river. People danced, hugged, congratulated, promised to see you again. When everyone had left, only the 2 remained. They sat by the lake, watching the lights reflect on the water. Caitriona said softly, "Sam, do you ever get tired of us pretending that there is nothing between us?" He was silent. "Yes, but I am also afraid that if I say it, everything will fall apart." "Maybe it is time," she said, her eyes not leaving the lake, "for us to stop being afraid." He turned and looked at her. In the dim light, their eyes met. There was no distance. In that moment, they understood that everything was enough: time, reason, and silence. Sam said softly, "Are you afraid of what people will say? After 10 years? No, I am just afraid we will miss another 10 years. He smiled, holding her hand, his hand shaking. Then don't let that happen. That night, there were no cameras, no lights, just the sound of the wind and the smell of whiskey in the air. A new chapter began, not on screen, but in real life. Media storm. A month later, Outlander officially ended. Sam and Caitriona were on hiatus. They weren't seen together in public. No one knew where they were. Then, on the morning of July 12, the photo appeared. 2 hearts. After 10 years, the world exploded. Newspapers hounded every detail. Fans dug up every old moment, glances, smiles, touches on set. The hashtag after 10 years became a global trend in less than an hour. Reporters followed every step. Those close to them refused to comment. Sam and Caitriona, as always, chose to remain silent. But a week later, they suddenly appeared at a small ceremony in Edinburgh. Not a red carpet, but a charity fundraiser for children in the mountains. They arrived holding hands, smiling slightly. No further announcements, no speeches. Just standing there, amidst the applause and the cameras, Caitriona whispered to the Scotsman. "We didn't want to shock. We just didn't want to hide anymore." That night, when everyone had gone home, they drove back to Loch Lomond. The Stag's Rest was still lit. Sam had bought it a few years ago, the place he returned to when he left Hollywood. They sat at the old wooden table, drinking wine. "I thought," Sam said, "I would live here alone, until I was old." "And now?" she asked. "Now, with you." She chuckled, her eyes sparkling in the firelight. "It's strange, isn't it? After all the roles, we finally find ourselves in our own stories." He nodded. "Maybe true love doesn't come when we want it, but when we're brave enough to recognize it." 10 years, a moment. The following spring, Time magazine invited him to pose for a cover photo, with the headline, 10 years later, the real love story of Sam Caitriona. The photo was unfussy. Just the two of them sitting on a wooden bench, their hands clasped, with a lake and the Scottish sky in the background. In a rare interview, Caitriona said, "People ask why now. Maybe because we've finally learned to live authentically without fear of losing anything." Sam added, "Love isn't a fairy tale. It's a long journey. Sometimes you get lost, sometimes it hurts, but if someone's still there after 10 years, then maybe you've found home." That summer, they held a small concert right at the Stag's Rest. No reporters, no celebrity guests, just close friends and local residents. Caitriona sang an Irish folk song, while Sam played guitar. When the song ended, he leaned down and kissed her lightly on the forehead. The whole pub fell silent, then erupted in cheers. Outside, the sunset covered the lake, the light reflecting off it like gold. Sam whispered, "You know, I was afraid that if we admitted it, we would lose the magic of Outlander." Caitriona smiled. "And I believe, the real magic is us." At the end of the night, they stood on the porch, the wind blowing gently. Caitriona took his hand, resting her head on his shoulder. "After 10 years, do you regret it?" "No. If anything, it's only regretting not daring sooner." She smiled softly, closing her eyes. "Then let's give it another 10 years, and the 10 years after that, okay?" he promised.